This is Irontrader, and this is the weekend edition. Today, we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, at gold, at silver, at the dollar, and we're going to take a look at a couple stocks, Tesla and Apple. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy, sell any stock, commodity, ETF. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have Bitcoin. Now you can see where you just rocketed it right up to that 74,415 level here. And now we're just kind of selling off. But what you really want to watch here, let's look at the downside first, okay? So on Friday, you made a low there of 62,655, okay? So if you come right across the chart here, what'd you have? You got 62,485. So that's going to be your next support level. And then we can come right to the bottom of this candle at 61.20. Okay, so that is going to be your key levels here. And then we'll come over to the bottom of this candle. You're looking at 61.20 here. And then what we do is we just follow the candles down. So what we have is look to the top of that candle. You got 58, 335. We have the bottom here is 57, 350. And then we just follow down again. So you have your high of 55,740, and then we come to the bottom there at 55,250. And then what we always want to watch here, obviously, is this 50-day at 53,684. But you want to watch that candle right there. That is going to be the high, which is 53,145. Okay, and then you have your price channel sitting at 51,225. So again, like when this the price went up and then it came all the way down. This is when they had all those ETFs. The government let them all have all the ETFs granted here. That's when it sold off, and then they're just rallied up. So what you always want to do is look to the top of that candle. That is going to be very, very key resistant level here. And then as it broke up, we did the same thing here. Okay, so when you look at that 53,145, it just went side, and then when it broke up, now that becomes a very, very good support level here. But realistically, we're holding this level here. If you bring it right across. And then I say this candle here and this candle here are going to be your next big support. And then you always want to watch here is that 50 SMA. Now, again, on your weekly chart here, you have your 8 SMA. Now, you can see when it went all the way up here, you're holding it really good. But now it looks like I came out on, I think this was last week here, and I pointed out, see this candle here? That's a topping tail candle. And what you don't want is a topping tail candle on a weekly. It's bad enough on a daily, but on a weekly, then that shows that it's going to go all the way down. So you always want to watch that 8 SMA here because it's been holding it here very nicely all the way on up. So that's going to become very, very good support level here. Okay, so that's what you always want to watch. Now, this here was the first tell because see where your RSI went right up high. Okay, then we had a high, then we had even higher high, but look at your RSI here. See, negative divergence. Okay, so you always want to watch that. Always look at that RSI, very, very key. And your MACD is very good here too. Now you have your green crossing below, so it shows that you got momentum, but it's to the downside. Okay, so always watch the RSI and your MACD. Now you don't need to, I don't use a whole lot of indicators. I like the volume, the RSI, and the MACD. I mean, you go through them, there's a zillion of them, but you can have your charts all full. But these are two that I always found out that really work good because that's your relative strength index. And this shows there at your MACD, which just gives you a good momentum. So once that green crosses below, that shows you got momentum there to the downside. When it's above, that shows you good momentum there, obviously, to the upside. Okay, so let's take a look here at the upside. There's a couple key levels here. So number one here is going to be right here. It's 21 SMA, 65,365. And then above that is going to be your 8 SMA here at 67,606. Now, again, if you can get above, then we go to the top of this candle, which is 68,400. And then we can just follow the candles basically right on up here. You got 69,275 here. Okay, and then we always want to come to this candle because this was that price channel coming across. So then we look at 70,195. You have 71,55. And then we'll come right here. You have 72,870. And then we have 73,550. Then obviously you have your big retest at 74,000. 415. Now they do have a target on this at 150,000, but then again, that could be a guy who owns Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? So I'll never really pay attention to those analysts there. You know, you're way better off trading the charts here because everybody has an agenda kind of a situation, and you don't know if their agenda is the same as yours. You don't want to get bit, especially on Bitcoin at 74,000 kind of a situation here. Okay, so really on the upside, if you watch that 21 SMA here and watch that 8 SMA and see what it does, if it can get back up there, if it can close above, well, we can follow the candles all the way up. Now on the downside, just watch this key level here, which was Friday's low, that's 62,655, and then this low here, 62,485. If that's lost, you come right to the bottom there, 6120, and then we can come right here at 60,120. Okay, so these are going to be your key level support right here, those levels, and then you can come all the way down here to this 57,384, and then possible all the way down here to your 50 SMA here. Okay, the next one we'll take a look at here is going to be gold. Okay, here we have gold. Now we had a really good run-up situation. Now, when we had this sideways action and you ran all the way up to the top here, okay, 2152. And you can look back at the video. I said, if you break out of that, you're going to the 2000 level, okay? And that was definitely evidence you were going to. So this candle here, what did you do? You went to, $2,200 level. So you went to 2203, so it was off by like $3. Then you came sideways, and then we have this big topping tail that came in here. And I think this is pretty much here like on that after that Fed Day meeting, okay? It just kind of rallied right on up here. But you notice that it closed way below the price channel, even though it spiked up, okay? So that topping tail is not looking good, just like we have a topping tail going over here. It's a green one, which basically means for the week, you were actually, positive, but you still got a topping tail going on here. So let's just look at the downside first. So you want to look at Friday's low. This is 2158, and then we want to just follow right on down 2152 level here, 2150, and then 2149. So you got a good support level here going all on. Obviously, if that's lost, then we can come over here to your 33.6 here. Now, you always want to watch this candle here. This is going to be very, very crucial. See, that's that 2152. And if you look at this is that 2150 area. So that is where you got your support level here off the top of that candle. See how that is? Okay, so that's where you want to go. But again, if that area is lost, then you can come down here to your 21. Then obviously, if it's lost, we just follow these candles here all the way on down, where you got 2118 here. And then what you always want to do is you want to look at this top of this candle. This is a breakout candle at 2097, but you always want to look here too, because this is where it broke out of. So as it rallied up here, came down, and that's where she broke out of. So that's going to be your support level here, now sitting at 2083.20, which lines up pretty nice here with your 2076.70. That's going to be very key. But again, your 8-day or 21-day is moving on up here, 50-day, 100-day, and 200 SMA here. So really, you just want to watch these key levels here, okay, and then always watch the top of that candle. That's what it's holding right now. If that is lost here, then you want to come right down here to the next levels here, okay? So what you have right there, you got 2098. Then you want to here is that you have that 2083, okay? So always look to the left of the chart. It gives you now that just because this was resistance, now if it sells down, that gives you a nice good support area. So you just want to watch that, watch the top here, and then watch these key levels here, your 8, your 21, and your 50-day. Now, on the upside, well, you want to watch that 8 SMA. If you can climb back above that, 2171, then what we do is we can just start following these candles up here, okay? So you got 2176 here, and then you have the 2181 level, and then we have 2185, which is basically right in that area. And then we can come over here, 2190, and then we can really tag that 2200 area, okay? So that's what you're looking for now. This topping tail, well, that's really nothing to look at. However, if you can close above that 2,225, well, then you can have blue sky, and you could go to the 2250 area, even the 2300 area, very easy. The question is, are you going to be able to do that? Okay, so this is another thing that I wanted to point out to you. Oh, I got to slow that down now. Okay, this is another thing I wanted to show to you here, where you made a high here, okay, and you made a high. But look at what you did on this peak here, and what did you do with the RSI? See that negative divergence. Okay, always watch that RSI here. That is like the first tell that that's going to sell off here if it doesn't rally all the way on up here. Now your MACD looks like it wants to, cross below and then come right on down here. But as long as you hold this area here, okay, which is just look at the top of that candle, that 21, basically 2150 area. As long as you can hold that, this is still just a sideways action here, ready for maybe for a next rally here. But if it doesn't sell off, then watch that 21-day, watch the tops here of these candles, and then you can come all the way down here to your 50 SMA. Now here on your weekly, well, your 8 days on the way up, 21-day, 50-day, everything looks very good. You always want to go lower left, upper right. That's always key. So if it does sell down here, you can just see if it can hold all those key simple moving averages. But as this comes down here, see that? There it is. That's that candle right there. Okay, so this is what you always want to watch here, and it brings the price channel right on over. That's your support level. Now again, if that's lost here, then we have that other candle coming right across here, which lines up pretty nice here with your 8-day, and then you can come down your 21-day, and then your 50 SMA. Okay, let's take a look here at silver. Okay, here we have silver. Now on gold, again, an easy way to trade that. I did a video yesterday on ETFs. You might want to check that out. Easy way to trade gold is with GLD, the ETF. Big volume, in, out, never have to worry about that. Same way with silver, you can get in and out. SLV is a really good way to trade on the silver. Now, you can see here what we have here on a daily chart is you went all the way up here, you got 26.34, and then we had a retest there of 25.97. So that's pretty much a double top. It should have got a little bit higher, would have been nice here. Okay, maybe back up to that. You can see here on your weekly chart, if it went up just a little bit higher. But right now that looks like just like a double top situation, and now she's coming on down here. Okay, so what we always want to watch here, let's just look at the downside here first here. So what you want to watch is obviously Friday's low. That's that 24.58. If that's lost, we have your 24 sitting right there, which lines up pretty nice here with the 24.22 coming across. That's a nice, good level. And then this is so tight here that you really want to just watch that 100-day, 23.62, your 200 SMA here, 23.52. So right in this whole area, this 23.50 area is going to be big time support. So if you bring that candle there right across, okay, so you're looking at the high of that 23.56, that's pretty much where you have all your support levels here, okay? If you lose that 21-day, again, and if you lose Friday's low, then we know exactly where we're going to go here, okay? So now there isn't no really divergence here on your RSI, and obviously your MACD looks like it wants to roll over here and take a momentum there to the downside. But it just looks like you just like a double top situation. So when you're on your weekly chart here, you can see where you ran all the way up here. You made a high there, that 26, what do we have? 26.43, and then we had that retest the high of 26.34. Okay, so that was a lower high. You never really want to see that because that's where she comes down. Now, so far, this has only got up to 25.97, so it couldn't even retest that 26.34 level here. But you had your double top. The key is, though, if you can break out above that, well, then we can just start shooting back up here again, okay? So you can, if you can break above that 26.34, then you can come up to that 26.43, and then we can come up to this level here. You're looking at about the 27.40 level there, okay? So there is good resistance here, but again, if you can break through it, then you've got a nice good target there sitting at about 27.47. So there is good opportunity here if you like trading the gold and and the silver. But you had a nice good trading action. You had a double bottom situation here, and then you put in a higher low, and then she ripped higher, but obviously it just could not hold it here. So on the upside, what you want to watch is this 8 SMA here, okay? This is very key, that 25.19. If you can get above that, then we'll just hit this candle here, 25.36. Then you have 25.53. You always want to watch this candle. That's that 25.66 because that's where that price channel came out. And then you can have your big retest there at 25.97. Break above, then your target right there at 26.34. And then we come target right here at that 26.43 and then your 27.47. Okay, so you know what your upside is, and then now you know what your downside is. But when you see this chart here, I don't like the way that's kind of rolling over because look what it does when it crosses. Okay, it sells right on off here. So we got to see how all, if you trade silver, how it's all going to shake out. But key levels here is watch that 8 SMA and watch that 21 SMA. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at here, we're going to look at the US dollar. Now, the US dollar has been very, very strong. Okay, there's no question about it. Look at, you had a 99.57 run all the way up to a 107.34. So that's a pretty good, nice run. Look at where that 8-day is. See, following that bad boy, and that 21-day all the way and up. Then when we got to the top here, you put that 107.34 in, and then you retested it here with 107.11. See that double top situation with a lower high? Never good. Okay, so then you want to come all the way down. Now, there's two really inverse head and shoulder patterns here. See, there's a left shoulder here, your head, and then your right shoulder. And then in a bigger version, there's a big left shoulder here and a head and a right shoulder. And as long as you're holding that midline here, okay, which you obviously are at that 102.35 here. So you look at the bottom of that candle, okay, what do you have? 102.46. See, that's very, very good, that you're holding basically here that inverse head and shoulders pattern. And then you can see where she rallied up here very nicely. So this dollar here just looks very, very strong. Okay, now you broke out of your price channel level at 104.29. Now the next level we want to do is take right over here. Your next level is going to be 104.71, and then you can come to the top of here at 104.96. Okay, so that is going to be your upside targets here. Okay, so this here dollar looks very, very strong, and then obviously if you can break out through that, then what you can do is you just take these candles, go right to the left there. You got 104.573. Bring this price channel across. You got 106. And then what you can do is then you can rally all the way up to that this level here, this 107.13, and there's your big retest of 107.34. A break above that, well, look at what your target is, 114.77. But again, you got to break above this. So right now you have a trading range. This was a really nice trading range right here, and then we came all the way down here to this low here of that 99.57. But you notice when it rallied up, it put in a higher low on the way down. But you see this even like on a weekly chart where you had your high of that 107.34, and then when you retested it, that 107.11. Okay, see right there? Boom, that's a double top. That's right here. Okay, right there, and then she sold right off. So when you get a high of a candle, and then you can get a lower high, that's almost guaranteed that she's going to come and sell right on down here. So you could have taken a short if you trade the dollar kind of a situation, okay? So now she's rallying up here pretty nice here, but realistically what you need to do is got to get above that 104.68. Then we can just follow the candles up, and then you have your retest here at that 107.11, and then we come right on top of there at that 107.34, which lines up with that, okay? Now again, a break above all that, whew, there's your target right up there, 104.77. Now, I'm not saying that's where it's going to get. It's going to go to the next level. So you take this price channel across, okay? So what you have is 107.99, and then we can come up here. You have 111.27, and then we have 112.53. You have 113.14, and then you have 113.94, and then you have your 114.77. But it's all going to be based on this 107 right here, this candle right there, that 107.34, a break above, and then we have a big target sitting right up there. Okay, let's take a look here at Tesla. Okay, now here we have Tesla. Now, you can also, I pointed this out many a times, you can also trade TSLS, which is the Tesla short. Okay, so this is the Tesla long. You can also do the short, which was really paid off really well when he bought that Twitter. Okay, and he was selling shares, to raise capital and all that. And that all sounds good, but the stock was on Tesla, because he was taking the money out of Tesla to pay for this. That's when she came down. But TSLS was working great. That's just the inverse of what the Tesla's doing. But what I don't like here, we look on a weekly chart to see where you have a high, a lower high, a lower high. That's never good, okay? You want that just the opposite, because that tells you you're just going to go long. Now, Friday's action, it kind of sold off here pretty good. Now, closed up here, just above this 8 SMA here. But now they're cutting production in China. So they're having a hell of a time. That BYD in China just kicking their total ass. Okay. And so they're cutting production there. And really, these EVs just aren't selling like, what they think that they were supposed to sell there, because realistically, people aren't going to sit there and wait at charging systems. Can I find one, first of all? And if I get there, is it broken? How long do I have to wait? I mean, see, this is why fast food places work good, like McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's or whatever, because they just drive right up, give me my food, boom, I'm gone. Americans, we just don't have the patience to be sitting there waiting and all this kind of stuff. So that's where a big problem. The problem is here on these cars is the price. It's just an extreme price. I was over to the Ford dealership there, and I was looking at these Lightning trucks. They got over a dozen of them there, but they're priced at $75,000 for something that's just unproven. Is very difficult. Those Mach-E Mustangs, those are $65,000. First of all, the Mustang should be a two-door car. It's not a four-door car, but anyway, they have it as a four-door car. But anyway, when you look at this, you see $65,000. And you say, well, geez, this battery's good for 8 years. There's no resale on these. I mean, who's going to buy a used car with, like a used electric vehicle that has, like, say, 5 years on it or 6 years? I mean, they're thinking, well, man, if I buy this, I'm going to pay $15,000, $20,000 to get a new battery put in this thing. So I don't know about all, maybe it's the tree huggers that's still into this, but to me, this all has to still be proven for me to go there and say I'm going to buy an EV kind of a situation. You're trying to get, I understand, but I just think you're way over your skis here. Let the Americans or people, whatever, let them decide what they want. If you want an EV, fine, great, have one. If you want a gas, fine. You want a diesel, you know what I'm saying? If you want a hybrid, yeah, it should be your choice what you want to drive, okay? That's just what I'm saying. All right, so let's just take a look at a chart here. Right here, you really need to hold this 170. You close at 170.83, but you really need to hold that 170. Now, again, if that's lost here, you want to look to this Friday's low. That's 170.120. What do we have on this candle here? You have 165.90. And then we look to the top of there, you have 165.18. So right here is your gap, okay? So just look to that low, 165.90. There's your gap. Look top of this, 165.18. There's your fill. And then your big retest out here at 160.51. Now, again, if all this is lost here, this 160.51, okay, then what you want to do is you want to come to the bottom of this candle right here. This is 152.37. That's going to be very, very key level here next. And then what you do is you just follow the candles down. This could be 101.81. Now, again, if this stock came down to 101.81, I think I'd be all in. I'd be balls out there right into this stock here, because I think that'd be a good price for this car. Now, they downgraded the price. They had the $200 some on the stock, and then they lowered it to $220. Now they have like $190 target on here. So, another thing about Elon Musk, believe me, I'm a big fan of his, but I just think he just has so much on his plate there. I just wish if you would just focus on one thing, I think you'd be way better off here than what's going on here. Another thing you have to look at, if something happens to Musk, you know what I'm saying? What the heck is Tesla actually really worth without this guy? Okay, so a couple of things. So realistically, what you want to do is just watch Friday's low. That's at 166.30. Watch this low right here, 165.90. And then we want to watch the top of that 165.18, your gap, your fill, and then your retest here of 160.51. If that's lost, look to the bottom of that candle, 152.37, because that's where she's going. Okay. Now, if you can rally up here, well, we want to look on top of that candle, 172.82. And then we have right here, you have 174.72. And then you have a 176.25. And then you have your retest of your recent high here at 178.18. Okay. So, and then right above it, you have your 181.54. 21 simple moving average. Now, again, there is a gap, so you always want to keep this in mind, 184.59, and then look to the bottom of that candle is 186.72, okay? So right there, the high, 184.59, and then look to the bottom of that is 186.72. Gap fill. That's always like your resistance level if you can get above that key 21 SMA. And then you have your 50-day right above that at 190.81. Then obviously you have a retest up here at 205.60. So your price channels here are 205.60 and then 1 60.51 right now. You're on the bottom side of that. What I don't like is your 100 days down, 50 days going rolling down, 21 days rolling down, your 8-day is rolling down. That's never a good look. And I never like this series of high, lower high kind of situation here. So again, just, watch this key level here, 160.51. If that is lost, then we have here your low of 152.37. That would be your target that you'd be looking for. On the upside here, if you can just follow these candles, there's your big target, 181.54. And then we have right above there, 184.59 gap. And then look further though, a low of this, 186.72, your fill. Gap, fill, 21 SMA here. Okay. All right. The next one we're going to take a look at here is going to be Apple. Okay, now the reason I brought up the Tesla and the Apple, I like to mix things up there, on different kind of stocks. But Tesla had that, they're cutting their production. That was like big news there on the Tesla. And Apple, obviously, Apple's down here because they have a lawsuit against them. Okay, so what basically Apple wants to do is they want the whole world to have Apple phones. And I don't think that's really, you can have other phones, but I think what they want to do is if you only can communicate with another person on Apple, if you have that Apple phone kind of a situation. And that's where the whole lawsuit coming up here, where you're just kind of like a monopoly, that the only way I can contact you is if I have an Apple phone, if you're an Apple customer, kind of thing. So, but again, now remember, this lawsuit is in play here, but this is going to be years before this is all going to shake out. This is not going to be like a 5-minute deal. This will be 2-3 years down the road before they get all shaken out here. But Apple stock really hasn't been impressive here really at all. Okay, now, like if you look on a weekly chart here, yeah, you got a nice trading range, but we got to see where it has been. Now, again, if you looked at here at this October low here, 124, and you ran it up to 199, okay, that's a pretty good trade. Okay, no question about it. But it just hasn't had the performance of like you look at like what Microsoft has been doing, or Meta's been doing, or Nvidia's been doing. Apple just doesn't have that performance kind of situation. Now, it's a big company, but even at their earnings, they're just not making that big blowout numbers because they're so huge here now. And then, so we got to see how this all going to shake out. But if you do like Apple, okay, then let's just take a look at the chart. Now, what you really need to watch here is this 168.49. That's on the downside. Now, Friday's low, you had 170.06 here on this low here, 170.29 here. So, okay, so you're really holding that support level here. But really what you need to do is, as long as it holds that 180 or 68.49 here, you're doing okay. It's doing good. Now, again, the retest down here is obviously, you can see, is 165.67. So if that 168 is lost, here's your target. That's going to be the next level of support here. Now, eventually here, if this comes down low enough, well, I tell you what, you're going to catch my interest here very, very easily here again, because I ran a portion of this all the way on up here myself. I didn't get all the way from the bottom to the top, but I got a good chunk of that meat all the way up here on the old Apple because it's following the 8 SMA here. Very, very nice here. So again, to me, it's just that if it can hold this bottom here, because you have a really nice double bottom action going here, and then I thought it could kind of rally up here, but it's just not for me. And like a trader, it doesn't have that kind of movement. It doesn't have that thing, like a Nvidia or a Meta or a Microsoft kind of a situation. It doesn't have that whole kind of a vibe, like, what I'm saying? It's more of a slow mover kind of a situation. So that's what we want to watch here, is that 168.49. Now, again, on the upside, here's what we want to watch, 173.61. That's what we're going to be looking for. And then you have 176.10. That is going to be your 21-day. Now, again, if you can get above that, then we can hear 176.61 here. We looked at the top of this candle, 177.49. And then what we have here is you got 178.67. That will be your target levels going up. And then we can just follow these candles all up here. But realistically, here's your target. It's going to be that 50-day at 182.33. And then you have your 200-day right above that, 183.71. Then we have your price channel sitting at 185.04. So you don't have that much movement here. But again, you might have a good trading range. But if it does hold this 168.49, then you got a good shot at this maybe possibly just running up higher here. But if it's lost, there's your target there at 165.67 here, okay? So that's the same way on the weekly here. Maybe it'd be really nice if this thing sold all the way down, right down to this 200 SMA and held that. Oof, boy, that'd be a good buying opportunity here to go longer. But again, see this 8 SMA house rolling over? I don't like that. Even though you're 50 and 21 are up here, that 8 day is the first one to tell you what the heck is going on. Okay, so this is the key. Okay, and then there's a 165.27, which lines up pretty nice with the 165.67. If that's lost here, then you could have a possible down to that 150.32, which I think would be a good buying opportunity if it would even get that low. Okay, that's what I got for you on the weekend edition. We had the Bitcoin, we had the gold, the silver, the dollar, the Tesla, and the old Apple. Now, again, I'll be back here tonight, and we are going to do, as usual, crude oil and natural gas, which are obviously my favorites. We'll be doing that tonight. I'll have a video out here before 7 o'clock. Okay, thanks for watching.